End of the grand old party. Our chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl spoke with the former president about the January 6th attack on the Capitol just over 2 months after it happened. Take a listen.
But if you look at the real size of that crowd, it was never reported correctly. It's the biggest crowd I've ever spoken in front of by far.
Really?
By far. That went down to the Washington, that went back to the Washington Monument.
You told them you were going to go up to the Capitol. Were you just...
I was going to, and the Secret Service said, you can't. And then by the time I would have, and then when I got back, I wanted to go back. I was thinking about going back during the problem to stop the problem, doing it myself. Secret Service didn't like that idea too much. I could have done that, and you know what? I would have been very well received. Don't forget, the people that went to Washington that day, in my opinion, they went because they thought the election was rigged. That's why they went.
And Jonathan Karl joins me now for more. So, Jonathan, good to have you here as always. Yeah. Put this in context for us, because the former president told you he wanted to go back to the Capitol. How does that square with what we know now about his actions that day?
You know, when he first told me that, I'd asked him, because in his speech, you remember, on January 6th, and we're going to march up to the Capitol, and I'm going to be there with you. And frankly, I didn't believe it. I thought it was bravado. I thought there was no way he wanted to be there in that crowd that was going up to the Capitol. But then I heard Cassidy Hutchinson testify before the January 6th committee hearings, and she talked about that dramatic scene where the Secret Service really had to push back on Trump, and he was, almost on the verge of fighting with his own detail to say he wanted to get up there. So I think it's highly significant, especially because what he is saying is that if he went up to the Capitol during the problem, during the riot, during the assault on the Capitol, that he would have been very well received. It's really quite astounding.
Yeah, that's one word for it. How do you think this could all play into the criminal cases against him?
I don't know. I know that they're